Hello, Steve. This is Tom with this week's Precious Metals Market Update. Several things going on. We're going to talk about a few things different than we just talk about all the time with fundamentals and technical things. There are two things developing as I sit here, having done this for 40 years and having access to some pretty sophisticated people in this industry. And the first is to see banks, not just central banks, but banks now buying gold, particularly gold, some silver, mostly gold, because the Basel Agreement a couple of years back that allowed banks to own gold in their portfolios is a tier one investment. And how important is this is that before that, gold was a three-tier investment, which meant if a bank wanted to hold gold in their portfolio, they could only count it for 50% of the value. But now, under tier one, is now 100% of the value, where real estate has gone from 75% down to 50%. So if a bank holds real estate in their portfolio and put it out to the public traded company, they can only count the value at 50%. Things are changing, not just in central banks that have been a net buyer, and only Canada is the only country we know where the central bank has actually sold gold in the last year. Every other country either held their inventory or purchased, and this is continuing heavily into 2016 as central banks are beefing up their gold, following what China's doing, knowing there'll be some major consequences for those that don't follow and try to keep up a percentage they want in gold. So this is something now that's important. A second trend that we talked about, I talked to you about personally, is what's going on where the major wholesalers, even though prices are doing nothing, prices are down after a strong up first 4 months, they've tailed off a little bit this past month, and we now see that gold and silver are set, in my opinion, to take off, but we're hearing from our wholesalers to be alert that major deals are being priced in London and New York. I'm talking about where they'll come in and say, we're talking about putting in 10, 20, $30 million. What would be our premium? What would it cost us? What are our delivery options? How long would it take to get delivery? And it's almost like it's written and it's not the same people. I mean, I'm talking to wholesalers out of the country as well as wholesalers in the country that are telling me the same thing, that they expect delays this fall, similar to what we had in 2008, where some of the deliveries went into 2 to 4 months, depending on the product. So it's very important that with prices down, silver at 16, that's a gift, and gold at 12.10, that's a gift. And while I can't guarantee anything, I do have a gut feeling from the years I've spent in this business, and I've got a gut feeling this next move up is going to leave these prices as the lowest we'll ever see them the remainder of our lifetimes, both in gold and silver. So it's important that you get that done. Lastly, I want to mention again that my deal with Steve is that we're going to charge you 2.5% above our cost on gold and 3% above our cost on silver. We're going to pay the shipping and insurance. We're not going to charge you anything on the back end. If you bought it from us, we will sell it to the wholesaler that's paying the most at that time and get you the most over spot that we can possibly get you. There's no one in the industry I know that can offer this kind of deal, but you know the quality of Steve St. Angelo and what he believes in is low cost and giving a client a chance to make money, not being a telemarketing firm that even some of these firms are charging 8 to 12% and talking about how cheap they are, and another 5 or 6% when you sell, which to me just is not right. And that's the reason I deal primarily with financial institutions and brokerage firms come to me to buy. That's the reason a lot of you don't see my name in print, because I don't advertise in newspapers and publications with these large telemarketing commissions. So I just want to go over that and make sure you understand. You can reach us at 800-247-2812. That's 800-247-2812. and you can speak with Dan or Kathleen or myself. And don't forget our special cloud hard assets storage program we introduced last week. If you're watching me for the first time, go back and look at last week's, where I introduced the best storage program in the world, bar none, where you can store for 20 or 30 basis points and still have the same commission deal I just discussed. So hopefully we can answer some of your questions. And if you need to set up an IRA, self-directed precious metals IRA, we can go through how you can do that. So we look forward to talking to you. Till next week, this is Tom Cloud signing out.